Okay, so you may have watched the test drive of this bad boy. If not, check it out. Just guys to show you, it's got runs great. I took it down and got a car wash earlier on it, and good oil pressure. Temp stayed well below 200. I think it was like 185 the whole time. I was gone for a good 30 minutes or so. The video is about 10 minutes long, so don't worry, you're not going to watch it for 30 minutes. And yeah, shift's good. There's no weird shifting. It's an automatic, so that's awesome. 93, I think it's 93, 92, 93. It's been a while since I looked at the title. We've had it for about 3 years. Bought it from the original owner here in Grand Junction. Older man owned it. When I say older, like almost 90. So he took really good care of it. It was all, when I bought it, it was all bone stock. We actually are the ones that did, we swapped the axles. I own a 7-acre Jeep yard, actually, one of the biggest in the US, Jeep only. It's called partsbreakers.com, and yeah, you can check us out. So we know these things probably as good as anybody else as far as the OEM stuff. We're more of an OEM yard, and that's what we like. So anyway, I pulled these out of a 4-cylinder. 4-cylinders come with 410 gears, and since we upped the tire size a little bit, not huge, it's actually got a really modest lift on it. I don't like going too big on them. They typically don't like to ride right. This thing drove great, straight down the road, true straight. So yeah, the 410s coupled with an automatic, which is again a factory automatic, super rare on these guys. This is the Islander option, or Islander trim, whatever you want to call it. Gives it just that right amount of, effortless driving down the road and whatnot. So this side is clearly not in the sun, as you can see. The sun's in our back, right, or in front of us right now. So it's actually got a real nice polished red look to it. Still got some glossiness left on it. And yeah, so I'll get up close and personal here, show you under the hood stuff. This will be probably about a 10-minute video as well. And then that test drive video should give you, we just like doing these so out-of-state bidders, buyers, depending on where you're seeing this, we're going to put it online, a couple auctions, unless it sells. We are going to list it locally, so it very well could sell before it goes to an auction or while it's at auction. And yeah, if it does, it does. Definitely give us a call. You can reach me on my cell, 970-589-2089, or you can call our shop phone. It's a personal cell, my own collection, so not part of the business. But yeah, so, and then, other things to note, it's got, it's got a tilt steering column. That's an upgrade. I mean, that was, again, factory on this guy, but something that didn't come on all of them. The soft top is brand new. I mean, it's about a year old, but we haven't used the Jeep. It literally has been parked in our front lot. And then I finally got it out and cleaned it up. So a couple, little scratches around the edges where the paint's kind of worn off. Not really scratches, I guess, but just where the paint's kind of rubbed there. The fender flares were painted before we got them. It's not factory. They didn't actually come that way, or at least I've never seen one come that way. On the TJs, they do have that option. They did a good job. There's a couple scratches in them where the paint's starting to come off, but whoever painted them clearly knew what they're doing, because typically when you paint these plastic flares, they crack pretty quickly. It's starting to get a little bit of the paint starting to crack in them a little bit, but this is just a malleable plastic fender, so easy to paint again if you want to go that route. If you like the black or more traditional black look, get off their fly, then yeah, you can easily bolt those right back onto it and whatnot. The chrome, I think, was added by him. Again, I don't believe that came factory on it, but I could be wrong. I know these overlays are popular, depending if you like chrome or not. But again, if you don't like it, this actually is just an overlay. So it's probably got 3M tape on the back, so you can peel that and you can actually see the original red grill underneath. Bumper covers. If you notice, there's got the tow hooks on it. For the tow bar, we do have the bar. It will come with it. So you can flat tow it home if you like, or trailer it, or drive it, or ship it, whatever you want to do. We can help you with that. Windshield frame, nice clean, no rust in that guy. That's a common area to rust out. They love to they're so flat fronted. They take rocks to the front, and then people don't wash these very often, and they rust out pretty easily. That one's beautiful, excellent shape. Fenders are clean, no rust on those. This one is a good example of what eventually, when this paint does start coming off, And this one probably got pushed in. My guess is they brushed up against something, again, something that was before we had it. But there's no damage to the fender itself. And actually, even the flare's not damaged. It's just the coating on top that's, again, this paint made this probably rigid. And so when they hit something on it, it just cracked the paint on it. So yeah, so that's that. Just like I said, want to show you everything on it. A couple paint chips up in this area. Look like starting to show up here. Usually get this is real common to see. These things sometimes look like they've been blasted by sand. Again, they're flat nosed enough that they take a brunt of highway stuff on, but little touch up paint would go a long ways. Otherwise you could repaint it. I don't know if it's necessary, but it kind of depends on what you're doing with it, I guess. So it's a beautiful Jeep as is, but if you're going for restoration, this would be a great platform. So again, same thing here. You got some paint wear here, a little bit of wear there. But no body damage, you know, as far as that goes. They did the I don't know what you'd call them, hideaway or seamless, whatever you want to call these guys, these LEDs. And that's more of like an old CJ look. They did that on the older stuff. So those have been obviously modified and put on this Jeep. You could go back to stock if you wanted to. They've chromed a trim around. They did actually a decent job. The bumper, normally these don't actually have rear bumpers like this one does. I guess it really isn't a bumper, but this is a drop hitch. Typically these have what they call bumperettes on them. There's a ring on them here and here, and it's just to make it facade kind of look like the old jerry can holders that actually don't function. But this one, those have been removed, and then this bumper, that's all bolt on. So if you want to go back to either the bumperettes or put on more of an off-road bumper or something, you can definitely do that. It's the 2-inch receiver on that guy. Tires are excellent. They're like brand new. Probably not brand new, they're probably older. We just got them from another Jeep. Matter of fact, I think they came off the one we had the axles from. So, and those were a nice set of axles. We went through them, new fluid, new seals, stuff like that. Great shape inside. So again, 410 axles in this guy. Wheels are in good shape. Got a couple scuffs on them here and there, I'm sure. A little dirty, but nothing out of the norm. So that should take care of that guy. Obviously the top I showed you. Now the inside is very clean too. Nice panels on the inside, black panels, tilt column I told you about earlier. No breaks in the glass. They chrome the inside as well. It's got the chrome trim on it. Pads in good shape. I think it's got a little crack on the corner showing up over there. I'll show you in a second. Pretty common for these to kind of wear out, but carpet's in good shape, not torn at all. It's got a couple stains in it. Didn't vacuum. My wife vacuumed for me. She clearly didn't vacuum. She's normally really good at that, so I can't, and she helped me out with it, so I'm not going to complain, but needs a vacuum under there, obviously. And then again, it's an automatic, so you got the shift on the fly 4-wheel drive still, but the automatic shifters up on the column if you're not used to what a YJ has for an auto. 4-wheel drive works great in it. Took it up the hill, this little guy, the other day just to double check that. Worked excellent. Low, 4-wheel high, all the ranges worked. Got a couple tears in the seat, starting to hear. Actually, they're more of, not really tears, I guess. They're just, the seams are starting to get loose. This is vinyl, pretty common, they dry out. You're seeing a little bit here, and then along the sides, this is pretty common. This actually, for a driver's seat, if you know these parts, these are extremely hard to find. And that one would actually be considered a higher grade. Drivers are usually just absolutely blown out. So, and then it's got the slider in it. It's just for height. Matter of fact, I have a really bad back. L4, L5 screwed up on me. And I was driving it earlier, and I forgot how comfortable these seats, how supportive and comfortable the older seats are in these older vehicles versus some of the new stuff we have. So, passenger's a tumbler, which is factory. Driver's side's fixed, so it does slide but doesn't tumble. You can actually get a tumbler in these in the driver's side, but it's not factory this year. So goes up so you can get in and out of it nice and easy. Got the rubber mats in it, nice carpet all the way across, all the way back. Nice rear seat, roll bar, family style roll bar. Okay, that's not an upgrade. It was factory in these years, but it is an upgrade if you have a early YJ sound bar. It's got a cassette player, which is whatever, but the one thing that's nice about that guy is it's not cut. When you put the aftermarket stuff in, a lot of times it ruins the dash. You have to cut them to do it. So yeah, heater works great. Let's see, can't remember the seal covers or whatever, those are nice on there. factory soft top, like I said before, but that's a new soft top with the hardware factory, which is important. That means you can replace it with pretty much any kind of hardware you want on there. And let's see, I'll get underneath it just to kind of give you an idea what she looks like under here. So real clean. When we did the axles, they coated it with Rust-Oleum just to prevent it from, you know, rusting if it goes out east somewhere. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to not rust. It's still very critical that you guys, if you're on the East Coast, try to minimize the salt exposure. Floors are nice and solid. I think the only area that might be starting to bleed through a little bit on these guys, which is common, is right around here. Both sides, as you can see, is real clean, but that's something to just to kind of note. There's a pinch there where the pinch welds come together and they do kind of start seeping there. So, but otherwise, there's no leaks or anything that's you know, the tranny that it's got a good sized ding in the bottom of the oil pan. Doesn't affect anything, drives fine, but something to note. And I don't mind giving you one of those. They're kind of a pain to do, so it hasn't affected anything ever on it, and it won't. But again, if you're going for that restoration, you probably want to throw one of those on it, and I have a few of them, so I can throw that in for you. Sway bars are all intact. I think even the track bars are on these guys. Maybe. Let me see here. A lot of time these track bars get removed, but yeah, track bars on it, which is probably why it drives so well on the highway. So many people pull that stuff off, and then, you know, they're better for off-road, but they're a little bit loose around the highway. So I'm going over my time limit I've set for myself. I blab a lot, but just wanted to give you a good idea how clean she is. When the lift was done, we did all the brake lines, extended brake lines, the way it should be done. So it was all done right. We dropped the transmission pan, adjusted the linkage and stuff. We don't typically work on them much anymore. We used to, but mainly just sell parts on them. But anyway, oh, let me show you the engine. It's really good shape for, and that, I say this in the ad, I'll say it again here. I think I put it in the test drive video. 158K, that's what's on the odometer. Old guy that owned it put a motor in it, 2015. That was about 140K, so the motor's actually got 20, a little less than 20K on it. And I don't know, I think it's here. You can see the serial number for that replacement motor. So just to show you that it was done. Yeah, and it runs great. We did a compression just to back it up, and it came back good for just a replacement motor, which is, I think it was like 125 or 115 to 125, I want to say. So they're not real high compression motors to begin with, and it wasn't a performance build by no means, but it gets up and goes great. These 4 liters are absolutely indestructible. Factory jacks in it, fuse box, lid, that kind of stuff is, you know, factory air intake. So many of these get, you know, messed with aftermarket junk, and honestly, they run forever and run good if you just kind of keep them stock. But if it's your thing, we got plenty of that stuff we've taken off that we can get you. So okay, I think that's it. I appreciate all your time. Again, take a look at that other one just to get an idea on how well it runs, and we will get it posted and get it sold. And if you happen to be seeing this sometime in October of 2022, I think today's the 6th, I am about to head to the upper Northwest, and I would be happy to help arrange transport, either myself, if we can do it on our load. We got a big trailer going out delivering parts, or we can help arrange it via other means, or you're more welcome. There's an airport in Junction you can fly in. So okay, 970-589-2089, Jeremy, feel free to give me a shout, and if there's anything I missed, I'm sure I did, definitely let me know.